Recently, I had to return a $500 comic book, and honestly, it was my fault. Let me explain. What's up, everyone? My name is Steve from Burke Family 54 Comics, and in today's video, I'm going to be talking about how I returned and why I returned a $500 comic book. Before we do that though, hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit the notification bell, all of that. So recently I went to Planet Comic Con in Kansas City, one of, if not the biggest cons in the Midwest, and I went there with a goal. My goal was to get as many DC keys as possible or try to get one big book. And to me, a big book is something $500 or more, really even $400 or more on a teacher's salary. So I went there, I was like, okay, I'm gonna get me some DC books. And I saw a book that I wanted. I checked it out. It was actually at the first booth I went to a whole bunch of other ones. I checked out all their walls and eventually went back a few times and looked at a book and was able to make a deal on a Detective Comics number 359. And it was priced at $600 and I was able to get it down to $500. Before I bought it, I actually asked to see the inside of the book. And when I looked at it, I only saw the first page and it looked like the staples were attached at both the top and bottom. And I was like, okay, cool. I got the book for $500. Super excited about it. Super happy to get it in my collection. And I brought it home that night on Friday because I went all 3 days. Left it here because the next day I was going with my family. We were staying at a hotel on Saturday. I didn't want to get messed up or get lost, all of that. So I left it here. So I was gone to con all weekend. And then on Monday, I was doing a stream with my friend Mark Spector Comics. I showed it off at the beginning. And later in the stream, he was showing off a whole bunch of his books in his collection. And I was watching it. And while he was doing that, I actually opened the book. And I was like, I'm just going to go through every single page, see how it looks, all of that. And I got to one of the pages and it was all cut up. And I was like, oh no. And then I kept going through the book and it was only attached at one staple in the middle. And then I got to the end of the book and it was missing not one, not two, but several pages. And at this point, I am starting to freak out because I just spent $500 on this Detective Comics number 359, first Batgirl, and I really wanted this in my collection. I honestly thought it was probably like a 2.5, somewhere between a 2.0 to 3.0, probably like a 2.5. And I was excited about that. And I felt like I may have overpaid a little bit, but then looking through the book, I'm like, okay, I definitely overpaid. I do not want this book because obviously I thought I was getting a book that was complete. This book is incomplete. I had a whole bunch of damage to it. And I started messaging my friends. I'm like, what do I do? So they're like, just message the seller, see if he can make it right. And I said, that is a great idea. I messaged him and he said right away, he's like, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize it had that damage. Bring it in and I will refund you. So I was able to bring it in a day or two later. And luckily he was somewhat local to me and I was able to bring the book back in. No problems whatsoever. Brought the book in. He was able to give me my $500 back. And he was telling me, he's like, I was just getting ready for the con. I looked over a few books. I'm sure he did the same thing I did. Looked at the front, back, first page, thought it was fine. He priced it, put it up there. But he was very, very, very nice to me and helpful and apologetic. And I was super happy to see that he stood by his work. And when I say it was my fault, it was definitely my fault for not looking over the entire book or asking to see the entire book before I bought it. Because had I known that or had I looked through it, I would have seen the damage earlier. Wouldn't have caused as much time or all of that energy. So definitely would have been a lot better if I would have just looked through it like a pro. But I did not do that. And I'm going to do that in the future when I decide to look at some of these older books. I'm talking about Silver Age or older. Because how many of us buy a book that is a big key book and we never open it because we don't want to cause any damage to it? Well, in this case, I'm actually really, really, really happy that I did. And I was very, very happy, again, that the seller made things right. He was able to refund me. I did buy a couple books from him as well while I was there. And it was just a really, really good learning experience. I was upset that I had to return it because obviously I would have rather had the book in my collection in the grade that I thought it was versus an incomplete 0.5 or no grade book. So I was happy that he was able to refund me my book, and it was a learning experience. And again, I think it was my fault. I should have looked it over more, should have known that some of these older books, there's going to be a lot more damage than you possibly think. So it's definitely a really, really good learning experience. And again, I can't thank the seller enough for being very good, being honest about it, and giving my money back, and being just a great person to work with. I couldn't be happier with the outcome of the whole situation. So right now, obviously, I'm on the prowl for a Detective Comics 359. I'm honestly looking for one already graded, so I don't have to worry about anything, in a 3.0 to 4.0. So if you are someone that has one of those, message me over on Instagram and see if we can make things happen, because that is definitely a book. Again, I'm trying to invest in all things DC because right now everyone is investing in Marvel, and rightfully so. The MCU is off doing great things, but Batman books and Batman keys, they're only going up in value, and they're only going to continue to go up in value. So I definitely need to get me another one of these Detective Comics number 359. Again, I would have rather had the book that I bought in the condition I thought it was in versus having my money back, because that's a key that I've been really wanting to get for a long time. So again, this was a learning experience for me. Again, my name is Steve from Burke Family 54 Comics. Let me know in the comment section what you guys think of my story. Have you ever had anything like this happen to you? Thanks everyone for watching. And as always, go Cats, Cowabunga, and it's Morphin time. Today's video is brought to you by comicbook_pressing on Instagram. Protect your comic book investment for as little as $12 by using Eric from comicbook_pressing on Instagram. He can press any grade or tier of book, and make sure you use my promo code BURK54 to get free shipping back to you on your first order. Again, today's video is brought to you by comicbook_pressing on Instagram.